Hello, my name is Travis Sibelius. Tonight I'm going to bring up a new webisode series called The Music Mentors. It's been on my old channel, but today I'm going to put these on the Real Group station. This is going to be the Music Mentors session with Hobe Sanko, teaching some chord progressions. Alright dude, you ready to learn some chord progressions?
Yes, okay.
Alright dude, yeah, you got a fucking deep voice, dude. Holy shit, man. For a fucking 16-year-old? Can you sing a rap?
Yeah, do you want to find me like some lyrics?
I don't know, I'm just asking you. It's just my introduction, man. You got one fucking deep voice, man.
Not like this.
I think you got a deeper voice than me. I'm much older than you. So.
No, we all.
So you ready to learn?
Like,
Are you ready to learn some chord progressions?
oh yeah.
Alright, I can teach you some basics. It's really not that hard, but anyway. Okay, like I said, if you want some, I asked what if you wanted a major or minor scale, right? So
Yeah.
So basically, the minor, I call one the majestic minor, and then the next one I call it the Gothic minor. They're a little similar, but they change the chord progression. They both start with a minor chord. My favorite chord, I think it'd just be easier to just start with majestic minor and D minor. So I'll just show you. You know how there's 8 notes in an octave, correct? How familiar are you on that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with like the octaves and all that stuff.
All right, so can you find do you have a keyboard on you or not?
It's just keyboard's right over there.
Okay.
I can go get that.
All right, so you don't have to I guess you don't really have to look at it. All you have to really do is kind of just look at mine, if you can.
Okay.
I don't know. All right, so you know how you got these it's backwards, isn't it? I think it's backwards. I'm gonna have to I want to see if I can just kind of annoy.
And by the way, I have ASU4 walls that did the driver to use FL Studio.
Yeah.
And then for my primary driver, I use for everything else.
Yeah.
Like talking in here and sound, it's Realtek. But when I was in FL Studio, I wasn't able to call you because it said there's a problem with the device.
Oh, see, that's the thing. The one way how I'm able to fix this, the reason why I'm actually able to talk to you, and I'm actually recording a session of this, but the reason why, because I didn't ask you, but are you all right if I record this session on my channel? Are you all right with that, or?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, sweet. Okay, so basically, your problem is that you have one sound system, all right? So,
Yeah.
When you go on your camera while you're in FL Studio, you're gonna have some issues, and it will not work because with one audio device, you're trying to combat one with one, and it doesn't work because you got two sound systems that need to be running. Another way I fix that is I download an external sound card. It's called a C-Will. That's the one thing that could really help benefit you, because that way, when you set one sound, if you set the USB sound card to that,
Yeah.
you should be able to also talk in MSN, watch YouTube videos, and watch anything else that requires sound. So
Yeah, except like I looked up the issue before, and I'm online and I'm getting a bunch of ads. It's like you can't fix it. I'm like, there has to be a way.
yeah, man, just the C-Will, it's fairly cheap. I think I only paid like $20 for it, so it's not a terrible buy if that's something that really bothers you, because heck, sometimes I want to get some influences, some music, and the only way to do that is to be able to listen to what you hear. Rather than buying a new computer or setting one next to it, it's just easier to buy that. But that should immediately fix your sound card. I'll be back in a second. I want to see if I can. Oh, here it is. So let me see if I can mirror this, which I can. All right. So let me see. I think I should be mirrored right now. Let me double check. Okay. All right. Sweet. So okay. All right. So you see this. All right. We got here we got right here is a D minor. All right. So will you be able to find that D? All right. So that's your D minor arpeggio. So when I'm talking about the root chord is always the I think the dominant note is the bottom note. I think. Let me double check. I gotta brush up on my piano technology. I don't remember it. I think the dominant note is always the 1 or the root chord. Let me see. Dominant note. I think the dominant note is the root. I could be wrong. I think the tonic note's the top. You got a dominant note and tonic note. One's the 5th note and one's the bottom note. So dominant is the 5th scale degree, the most pronounced harmonic note after the tonic. All right, so the dominant, I guess how you remember that is the dominant is above the tonic. So the tonic note or the root chord, simply when I refer to that, is the first note in the scale that I'm providing. So if you got a D scale, the tonic note is the D.
Yeah.
And the dominant note is the 5 or the 5 or the A. So let's get quickly going through this because I think you just want to make music. So that's quick enough. Let's see here. What the hell we got it? All right, so let me write this out for you. I'll start with the majestic minor. Majestic minor, you got majestic minor. You got the D, the root. So what I'll call this is the 1. There's chord progressions, all right, and these typically follow a 4 pattern, a 4 note pattern. So basically, you got D minor on the bottom. So that's your root or 1 chord, and that consists of D, F, and A. You familiar with those D, F, and A? It's the D. The F is the 3rd, and the A is the A. Okay, so it kind of looks like this. I don't know. Will it read it backwards? So D minor, D, F, A. Yeah. So root chord D minor, D, F, A. That's your 1, and then this is the majestic minor. And then we'll go to our 6. With a 6, I usually go down. So hold on. I'll show you in a second. It's B flat. This is the major, and then that was the minor, and this is the major, which is a big M. B, F, and or B, D, and F. So that's B flat major, and then that is your 6th. Okay. So when you got that, you got the D minor, D, F, A, 1 minor, and the B, the 6th.
Okay.
And then that's B, D, and F. So that's your 6th. Okay. Typically, I'll show you later how I usually play it. But then it goes the D, F, and then it goes to F, which is the 3rd. So I put the 3rd, and this is also a major. So that's the 3rd, F major, and then B, D, F. So B, D, F, or F, A, C. So you got your 3rd, which is your F major, and then the F, A, C, and then that's your 3rd minor. Okay, and then you got the 7th. That leads to the 7th, and that is also major. So that's a big M. The only minor chord here is the beginning. So you got the C, E, and G, and then you got the 7th, which is the C major. Okay. Now I'll quickly run through this. It's not too hard. It's not that hard to remember. I'll probably put this on top. So you got the D, F, A. All right, and then you got the 6th. Now the 6th can go up here. So the 6th is the 6th note away from the root, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the reason why it's a B flat is because when you play a minor scale, it goes the minor. It's gonna be hard to remember, but you got a whole, half, whole, half, whole, and whole. So the easiest way to remember is that the 2 and 3rd has a half step, and the 7th and 8th has the 2/3 has the half step, and the 5 and 6 have the half step for a minor scale. So 2, 3 halves step, and then 5 and 6 half step. Okay, that's one way to remember it. Whatever note you got, whether you're in C or D, it's always a half step, 2, 3, and 5 and 6. So that's simple why it's in the minor scale here. So we got the D and then 6th note away, which is the B flat major. So I go down because it's a lot easier to go down because it's closer. So you go down to the 6th, up to the 3rd, which is the F, A, C, and then down to the 7th. Okay? Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we start with?
So we start with the C and G.
Oh no, if we're in the D minor, then we start with the D, F, and A. Okay?
Alright.
Okay. And then we go down to the 6th, which is the B flat, D, and F, which can be a little hard to read. And then we go up to the F, which is the 3rd, F major, F, A, C, then down to the C. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll write these down on the chat so you don't forget them. There's some major things. Minor scale, 2 to 3, and 5, 6 have half steps, and the majestic minor is the root. So D minor, DFA, which is the root IM, or 1, so 6th, B flat major, B, D, F, and then BI are the 6th, and the 3rd is the F major, F, A, C, 1, 2, 3, minor, and then the 7th is the C major, C, E, F, 7th, major, okay? So those are all there, and that's it. So how the hell do we start having a melody? Well, the important step on why we have this, the important step and why, it's going to be a little bit hard to put this down, but the important step why we have this underlying bass note, which is the D, and I'll record this, so it'll just sound like a simple scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6th major, the F major, the C major. Okay, so how do we compose that? Well, the most important notes that we have to remember if you're on the chord progression, all right? You got D, F, A, all right? Okay? And then the most important notes are obviously those notes. The 1, the 3rd, and the 5th. So when you create a melody, you kind of want to be relatively in a similar position as what your minor has. So let's say you got a D down here, all right? And then up here, you want to have a D, F, A. Might be a little hard to read, so let's put this to modern. So, okay, so D, F, A. So those are the notes you want. So B down here, B, D, F, and then F, A, C, and then C, E, F, G. Okay, so if you kind of have this muscle memory of remembering those chords, you kind of just pick it up after a while. You just be able to hear what you're playing. But keep that down there. Then you can just do whatever you want. So, alright. So. Majestic feel to it. So that's the reason why I call it the majestic, because it just seems to have a very vibrant piece. It's really great for movies. So, but yeah, man, that's what I was noticing. This is what's really good. This is one of my favorite chords because you can do everything with it, man. It's just incredibly, reasonably a very good sounding chord. If you notice that you can have some dissonance in there, it doesn't. The most important notes are let's say you got a 4 beat, okay, in a measure. So 4x4, a quarter note gets 4 beats. So if you got that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay.
Yeah, metronome and all that, you know, I keep that all in my head, and actually, it's like scarred on my head from when me and my brother used to be in a band. We would sit there and just repeat like different type of tempos, just
what instrument do you play, man?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
What instrument do you play?
We used to play the trumpet.
Oh,
see, that's what's confusing here. All the notes from the trumpet to the piano and the scales.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I have two things going through my head, because I'm like bringing back memories of, you know, the scales from that to this.
Well, see, I think the problem with this is that the trumpet is a single note. With this, you can have one to like
you have 2 free hands,
right? Yeah, so it can be really challenging. But like I said, the most important note is the 1, 2, 3, 4. The most important note is the 1. All right. So when you play a D, and it lands on the 4. And the 4, you see, this could be a 4 and. You can have some dissonance in there as long as it leads somewhere. It's like the leading tone leads back to the root chord. That's kind of what I've been told, is that it always leads to the root, which is the 1. So, and you can just do crap. I mean, I just play like crap. It doesn't even have to make total sense. What's that?
When you did the Majestic Harmony before, that put me to shame. So that actually sounded very good.
Yes.
Like there was like a feel to it.
Yeah. See,
I was sitting there and all like, damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, man. This is the theory. It's music theory. I mean, fuck, you will not get anywhere if you have like no knowledge of the chord progressions, because if you don't have any knowledge, you're gonna see. The thing is, yes, it is a theory. It doesn't mean it's science, but it is a theory. But it does not necessarily mean it's like you could do some D to I don't even know a chord progression. It has to be some other like fifth. It could be an A, because I know there's a minor, but you can have that. It's just when you want to just create music like that, snappy. It's just a lot easier when you have the chord progressions. So that's one of the minors. My other one is I'll show you, was just the I'll quickly write this down. That was the majestic minor, what we talked about. Now we're going to cover I guess, is there any questions before we go on? Is there
the scales, the piano is one thing. I learned like maybe the basics back in what was it called? You know, last year in school, when me and us had advisory together, he would actually teach me like a couple of basics, since I would sit there and just sit on my own free time, fuck around, and I'd just be like, just hit notes, see what sounds good together. Mm-hmm. But then he started showing me the notes and all that, and I tried putting it together, like figuring out the theory thing, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. But there's the scales thing, like you said with the knowledge before. That's just the issue I'm having here.
Yeah.
I would just go on there and just somehow know the chords, like just like a math.
I'm a little different. I'm a little different because I'm really average with beats, and because of my eye strain and my other hearing issue. If I do too much music, I can have really severe problems with sound, and it totally prevents me from doing music, which is really, it really kind of makes me really fucking frustrated. But I hope this knowledge should be able to help you out, because it just makes things 10 times easier when you have an understanding of the chord progressions, because there's numerous ones you can do. I mean, it don't always have to follow the 4-note chord progression. No, fuck that, man. Yeah. It don't always have to follow that, but it just makes like 10 times easier when you at least have some formula and a backing to make melodies, because you realize that some notes work better with each other and some don't. And because of that, if they don't, you end up with experimental shit that people want to listen to. You're relatively young, so it takes some time. I've done this after like a year or two, where I suddenly said, I got some powerhouse knowledge. I finally understand how to make some decent music, or at least can have some knowledge on how to do that. I mean, some notes, like rock, some music only follow a 2-chord progression. Maybe back to G to C for C major to G to C.
I actually noticed that now that you say that.
Yeah.
Like, you notice how, they'll go back to the one chord, follow up on that, and then go to the next.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's easy, man. Bands, they usually follow a 2-chord, a 2-chord progression, especially rock, man. Rock.
And that's when we likes them.
Grunge. I mean, it can be really, it's easy. If you have that chord progression, people always wonder how the hell you make some decent music. Well, it's just because when you have that knowledge of theory, it can make music a lot easier. Heck, if I didn't have this eye strain or this sensitivity, I would be making some decent music. It's just I can't. because of the issues. But anyway, is that the end of the question before we move on to the what I call the Gothic melody?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the Gothic melody. I want to be familiar with the chord that I've used before. So this is going to be an A minor. So you know the root chord is what? Which is the 1. If we have an
Can you repeat that thing like that again?
Yeah. If we have an A minor, we have an A minor, what would be the root chord?
The root chord for the minor Gothic minor?
Yeah. So if it was A minor, it pretty much tells you right there what the root chord is. The number is the one on the 8-octave scale. I'll just tell you. It's just the A.
I was thinking the A.
It's just the A.
But then I was thinking an E, and I'm like...
E would be the dominant note, because E would be the 5th. So if you have an A, the 5th would be the E, which is really not that tough to help. It's not too hard to decipher. It's just the E is the 5th, the root is the A, or the tonic note would be the A, the root would be the A. Anything that says root or tonic would be the A, or whatever the chord that you want to start your scale in. So A minor, like I said, the 2 and the 3. Okay? Like I said, the 2 and the 3 has the half step. Let me know if I'm going too fast, because I don't think it's that hard, but 2 and 3 is the half step, and the 5 and the 6 is the half step. So you already know that those are the half steps. So you know.
Yeah.
So we got the A minor. So the A minor starts with AM. How did I write this? I'll just quickly write this down for you, because it'd just be easier. So
I gotta bring up the notepad real quick. Take some some notes in this to remember this. Probably make this a legend.
What you could do, dude, is just actually copy everything that I wrote here, because it's really not that hard. But,
yeah.
Let's see here. So we got the Gothic minor, a Gothic A minor. We start with the A, which is the root A. So it's A minor, and then it would be A, C, and E, and then it goes to 1 minor, right? So that's one minor, which is pretty nice, okay? And then it goes to that, okay? So then it goes down to the F, which is the 6th. So F, the 6th, F, I think it's F major. So the one thing that you have to remember is that there's only 1 minor in most of these pieces that I'm talking about. The first one, it's the first one. The second one, it is the first one as well. But anyway, I'll just show you. Okay, so F minor or F major, so F A C, and then 6th. Okay, and then that's the 7th. So. Or actually, that is the 6th, okay? That is the 6th. And then it goes to the 7th, which is the... Alright, so I wrote this wrong. I'm going to have to reapply this because I wrote it wrong. So, this is the 6th, okay? The 6th, F major, F A C, 6th, and then it goes down to the 7th. 7th, which is the G, B, and D, G major, G, B, D, and then that is the 7th. Okay? And it goes down to the 4th, which is a tricky thing here, is because this is also major. So, both for the Gothic melody and the Majestic minor, you're going to have the only minor for the root chord. So the 4th would be the F or the E, B sharp. So this is what's interesting. The B sharp, the B sharp, and then the G sharp. Excuse me, the G sharp, and then the B. Okay, was what's going to be interesting here, because there's no G sharp in an A minor scale, since the 2 and 3 and the 5 and 6 are what's minor.
Yep.
Okay, so that is the 4th. 4. Okay, so I'll quickly play these.
Right.
You can kind of hear what it sounds like. So you got the A, F, G, and then E sharp. Okay, I'll set that to recording for a while. Set that up. A, like I said, most important notes would be the 1-3-5 whenever you play for those down beats, which is the 1-2-3-4, and the most important note of that would be the 1. So you always link that back to the 1 chord, or the root, or the tonic note. So, alright, so that's gonna be hard to hear, but let's see, function. It's gonna be really hard to hear, but here, let's go. The interesting thing is that since that is E major, whenever you're around this chord progression, you want to go in the major scale. So it's 1. The difference here is instead of 2, 3, 5, 6, it'd be 3, 4, and 7, and 8, I believe. So, yep, 7 and 8, and 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6. It just goes up a half a step. Okay. So instead of 2, 3 for the minor, you got the half step of 3, 4, and the 7th and 8th. Okay. So when you're around that 4th measure of the chord progression, if you're in a 4/4 scale, you want that there. So, and that's it, man. That's one of the reason why I think one of my favorite chord progressions is similar to that. I think he uses G though, but I don't know if you heard of Serge Tankian, but he uses a really similar chord progression, and it's G. It's really easy. You can almost create really simple beats with it if you know that. Oh shit! Excuse me. Oh shoot! I forgot my. All right, got it. Okay. If you ever I don't know, I don't think you're a singer yet, but if you ever do that, it follows a pretty similar scale, man. The whole thing is that when you sing, like so you'll notice that they do still follow the 1-3-5. To make it sound nice. If you want a decent harmony, I mean, I don't have the greatest voice, but if you want a decent harmony, that's the one thing to make that sound relatively in pitch with that. So, but yeah, man, that's it for the minor scales. There's a ton of other ones that you can learn, but you just do 2 1
combinations and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some chord progressions that lead better than other ones, but I'm not really familiar with it. So, but yeah, man, I hope this knowledge can do good for your music, because I don't know, man. It takes a long time, because it can be really frustrating if you got FL Studio and you want a melody. I don't know what the heck you want. See, that's the thing. Beats are usually not melodic. They might have some interesting down, or they might have a interesting harmony that follows a root chord. But typically, most beat makers often follow a beat, and then but I do it through a different way. I do a different method. Some use a decent beat, like a bass. I use some chords that just kind of let it ring. So that's it.
Yeah, like the chord progression and all that.
Yeah, so
like it can help, say, if it's using a piano intro to the beginning of a song, then you have like a beat that jumps in, along with maybe something else that jumps around there.
Yeah, man. So it's just, but yeah, the trumpet even, man. It can follow 1-3-5. If you know your chord progression, the thing is, it's much harder for a beginner to hear if you have a bass. Because you know how riffs happen, they got something that just sounds really neat. But if you're not experienced with the tactics on how it's formulated, it can be really hard to do. I even have trouble with picking apart a decent bass hook or a decent bass riff. I have a hard time playing piano with it because it just doesn't seem to fit. I have a very particular style. I'm a little bit more melodic, a little bit more emotional in the type of the music that I've done in the past. But yeah, man, that's the basis of chord progression. So I don't know if you have any other questions, but I think that's pretty much.
All right, session is done.